Larval fish have been found consuming plastic for the first time ever.
Everyone can see that the beaches on Anna Maria Island are beautiful. What they can't see is the trash that's under the water.
Every single albatross that you see across this landscape has been fed plastic.
In an underwater paradise, a plastic nightmare.
My name is Alan Azem, and I've been cleaning for approximately 6 years. You okay? Many years ago, I would come out here to go fishing, and I would see foam littered all along the shoreline. Try to do our part, and we'd pick up a little bit here, a little bit there, and it just came to a point where a jet ski with a garbage can mounted on the back wasn't cutting it. It was just too much. Launch fee. If I go to the Delta, you have a launch fee. You've got toll bridges, and toll bridges and just whatever it is, $7-8 for the truck. It's because it's a double axle, or the boat is another axle, they charge me twice as much. Trash that you find out here is definitely plastic and foam. Foam is coming from old docks that are falling apart in the Delta and washing away. The plastic is just in everyday life. Plastic bottles, toys, whatever you want to find, you'll find it here. That's a good sign. Usually I go out about 1.5 miles that way and then around the corner, but when I see it, I stop. Currently, I'm getting ready to install the navigation, which has GPS, so I can start remembering where I'm cleaning, because that's the problem. You come out here and you come back and you're like, wait a minute, this is pretty clean over here, and you forget you've done that area. And growing up, we used to fish in this bay. We used to go crabbing in the bay. In Burlingame, we used to go to the bridge there on Old Bayshore, and we'd drop our crab pots and come back an hour later and we'd pull them up and there would be crab in it. You can't do any of that anymore. Fish, I mean, you see a few people fishing, but it's more for sport, just catch a shark and throw it back. But to eat it, unless you go out for halibut, but everything else has been polluted. So if we were to stop and walk from about here and go 50 yards, this guy would be completely filled to the rim. A lot of times I'll bring 2 of these out, I'll carry 2, and once one gets filled, I'll leave it and then go and carry the other one until I fill it, and then walk back, grab the boat, and then come back and grab each garbage bin or tire or whatever was big. So when I pull up to the shore, I usually take a smaller garbage can. Now this is an old glass container that was disposed of, you know, the aluminum, plastic. Gloves. Balls are everywhere. You just pick up as you go. Now you can't possibly pick up everything, but the bulk stuff.
Now imagine if we had 10 people come out. Within 10 minutes, this whole area would be cleaned. I've got shovels to dig out tires. They should have a spot. The hand pickers eventually want to have them mounted, so that way it frees up the working area. With the GPS, I can notate this area and say, this spot right here has, wood stumps or something, so that way you don't get duped into thinking it was garbage.
I've had friends notice, because they're big kayakers or outrigger canoers, and they see less and less of the garbage.
So if I was really organized, I'd have multiple garbage cans. When I come back, I could put the garbage in one, recyclables in another, balls in another. Anything that can go in the recycle bin. It's all garbage. Then we just go to the next spot. This will eventually have all my navigation, have my lights, so then I can come out here before sunrise, and that way, since my office is so close by, I can come out here and have lights to at least before sunrise, and then once sunrise I can start cleaning, and then I can be back in my office by 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock or so. This is like a mattress.
I've had specialists who monitor the eggs, the geese eggs out here, and they've made comments that they see less and less of this garbage, this foam, because when you go up and down the shoreline, you'd see foam everywhere. Now you see less and less of it.
This is insulation from someplace. Maybe flew off of a truck, maybe off the bridge. The problem is I don't want to use a Sawzall, because then all that small stuff will go all over. I'd rather do it in the boat to get back. This becomes an issue. When I go to the Delta, I usually I don't bring big garbage cans like this. I bring bulk bags. Don't think I have one on board. They're a white 1 cubic yard bag that you see at Home Depot, where they park in it and they can load it in the back of your truck. So I use those, fill it with garbage, and I can tie it down, and then there'll be maybe 4 or 5 bundles back here. It allows me to leave it off on the side of the shore, go out, pick up more garbage, and then before I head back to the launch ramp, I can grab it, stick it on the boat to the point where you can barely see. I mean, ducks are just flying around. So this is, what did they say? It's one of the largest breeding grounds for birds that are on migration route up north. So they all stop here. You'll see flags on the levees where they monitor all the geese eggs that are being laid.
I've seen it firsthand where I've come across geese sitting on their eggs. They fly away, and surrounding the nest is there was an oil container, I think it was a 7-Up container, and a spray paint can. It's not supposed to be there, but yet this bird is sitting there on her eggs, and she's surrounded by our pollution.
Got my Rubik's Cube. Still works.
Successful day.
Again, every time you go out, you find something different.
Probably the biggest challenge is the disposal of the garbage.
Afterwards, now you've got to organize it. In a perfect world, we could just pull up to a dump and dump it. But we've got stuff that we can recycle, tires, we've got bottles, cans, that kind of stuff can be recycled. But then when you deal with foam, when we went out, we brought back a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet of this. And the way what I do here is I cut it down into smaller pieces so that way I can put it in neighbors' garbage cans, my garbage cans. All of my neighbors know that at around 11 o'clock at night, I'll go to each one of them and put one little piece in there. So what I'll do is, that's loose enough. Recently, I've been trying to keep tabs of what we pull out, how many light bulbs we pull out, how many tennis balls. That is a tennis ball, it's just lost all of its, how many plastic bottles, how many shoes, how much glass. So whatever we find, and we find duck decoys I find from time to time, I keep those. But for everything else, you got to find a home. Because if you have to pay to dump this stuff, especially the foam, they charge, I believe it's $54 a cubic yard. So when I come back with this boat filled 6 feet tall, it could cost an easy $300-400 to dispose of it.
I take stuff and I slowly get rid of it, because if not, it's just, you know, you spend more money getting rid of it, yet the people who dumped it, they don't do anything. They're not contributing except making the mess. You know, every little piece counts. Imagine how much garbage is out there, and it's out in the water. It's not like you and I can go out there and say, hey, we're gonna take some back. Here, at least, we're doing our part to stop it from leaving this area. The stuff will travel. So if you throw this bottle in the water, it'll eventually might end up in another country. I think that if we don't start doing our part, if nobody comes out here and picks up this stuff, it's just gonna multiply. It's gonna multiply. And before you know it, you know, we're not gonna have beautiful islands to go and visit. You're not gonna have beautiful fish and turtles to view. I think everybody just needs to do their part, and not just on Earth Day. Then, you know, we'll make an impact. I see the difference that I'm making. I'm hoping that other people will feel the need or want to contribute to make it a better place. Because this is just eventually going to go out to the ocean and, you know, affect the entire world.